And okay, we are back. This is an offline play of the Gran Turismo 4 Randomiser. I am Swishbone. Normally I've been doing these live online, but I'm rotating the games out for a while, so I'm going to do this as an offline play for a bit. We're 47.3% complete, and as you can see on the last stream we did, we unlocked the Mazda 787B race car. And that's given me an idea. In the Mazda showroom, look at those classic Mazda RX-7s there, people. One of the tournaments is the Club Re. And it has no restrictions. So how dominant is the 787B going to be in this manufacturer championship? We're going to start here, and we're going to see how far we go. It's thinking about it, which is a good start. Okay. I mean, this is going to be kind of ridiculous, to be honest, because, well, look at already. My driver is wanting to get right into the auction. We're going to have some fun here with this, people. This is going to be fast. Yeah, I don't like the dash view of this car, so we're going to switch to the front bumper view, and already, because that car chopped across me, I had a crash. That would have been an instant retirement, but we don't have to worry about that here because we are driving in Gran Turismo 4. There is no damage physics, and we are here at Laguna Seca. This car is on sports tyres, so the grip that you normally get from this absolute behemoth is simply not there. Lovely sounding engine. Listen to that scream. So I mean about the lack of grip. On the sports tyres, this car, I mean, the tyres are cold as well. You can tell that by the blue icons on the wheels. So the tyres are freezing cold as well, which doesn't help. But even with this being MR, as in mid-engined rear-wheel drive, the rear tyres just are not warming up at the moment. But the good news is, we are so much faster than the field, we can just keep on driving. Missed that apex by a country mile then. Wasn't even close. We're doing a 128 as our first. But that was a better line through there. We actually got a better line at that point. So Laguna Seca, owned by Mazda at this point in time. It's why you had that weird sign that says Vroom. It's basically some part of advertising campaign for Mazda. I don't remember it myself. I was there in 2004. Not Laguna Seca, but I was about in the automotive scene a little bit. I love my motorsport at the time, and I don't remember that campaign. The campaign. It's like, Mazda. A bit like Homer Simpson, really. Maybe that's what they were trying to tap into. Mazda. Nah, that just doesn't work. I'm sorry. All you Simpsons fans out there, I'm really sorry. That's not funny. And there we are, across the line. So we came in first place in Club Re. Oh yeah. But we got another 4 races, and then hopefully we're going to get a random prize car. The way the randomizer works, for those of you who've not seen this series before, is that essentially your name affects how the prize cards come about. So you could go with a common name, like, I don't know, David Jones, for example. And for one race, you might win a Honda Civic. But then someone with my name, Swishbone, or my friend Queen 3210, might suddenly get the Mazda 787B or the Formula Gran Turismo. So it's very much a case of anything is possible. You could enter the easiest race in the world and get a game-breaking car, or you could win the Le Mans 24 Hours and get something like a Honda Civic or a Mazda Demio. So it's very much a case of the Wild West of racing games. It completely changes the rules. So this mod that was made is absolutely phenomenal. It is just really, really interesting to play. And if you play it by prize cards only rules, it makes it really challenging because there can be points where you're struggling to find a qualifying car. And other times, you find a car that's absolutely broken and can obliterate half the events. So in terms of progressing, it's very up in the air. Even the license test cars are randomized. Like I got the Mazda 6 touring car for getting all gold in one of the license tests. I also got one of the roofs in the International B license. But then for getting all gold in the International A license, I got something that's absolutely horrific, like one of the Daihatsu K cars. Great for that tournament, useless anywhere else. So we're on to lap 2 of Autumn Ring, and thus far we're struggling to keep it on the island because these tyres are horrendous. But we're still 18 seconds a lap quicker than the field, so we're in no danger of losing. Say, when the cars are random, you have to strike while the iron's hot. So I could have used my Mazda touring car, but if they're allowing me to use the Mazda 787B, I will do it. And we head for the line at 1 minute 12. In terms of getting A-spec points, this is totally not the way to do it. You can see we got all that money in the bank there, but we're not buying cars, so it's only for upgrading cars that we're really using the cash. So we're in a position where we're not quite able to buy our way to success. Special stage route 5. Okay, I will get my words out. Oh, that sounds nice, doesn't it? That was almost extreme toge, the way I was doing the slipstreaming then. That was actually pretty awesome. That felt fantastic. And then we're into the hairpin bend. And this is a very relaxing circuit. I do wish they had special stage Route 11 in this game. Route 11 was a much better route. Unfortunately, it's not been seen since Gran Turismo 3, that one. It's a real shame. I loved the special stage Route 11. that sounded very, very nice indeed in the tunnel. Had a really shrill sound. Very, very booming and echoey. Yeah, nearly 21 seconds a lap faster than the field at the moment. But what do you expect? We're in a full-fledged racing car and they're in road cars. So we should be much, much faster. Just to give you an idea of the kind of time that Polyphony expected you to do these races in, they were expecting like 4-minute races. Oh, that's bad. That was poor. And I'm here at the moment, currently projected to do it in less than 3 minutes. A wider line to get a faster exit then. Yeah, 2 minutes 40, so we were way faster than the projected time. The time that they expect you to do the events in, we did it a lot quicker. But the good thing for us is it means that we're getting through some content quickly, because we want to see the cars. We want to see what the wheel is going to give us. And I will say 5,000 credits a race, this isn't bad early game money. If you're in a position to get cash, this is not bad early on if you're playing GT4 legit. Should you play Gran Turismo 4 in the modern era? Yes. Yes, you should. It's still the best one-player campaign in terms of content and the avenues you have to use it. Now this circuit is one of my most hated. I really don't like the Opera Paris route. And the big problem with it is it's just a very fiddly circuit. It doesn't, it's definitely got that street feel. It's like they tried to combine it with like a European track like Monaco with the high walls of Long Beach. And while I admire them for the aim, it's just not a very flowing circuit. It doesn't feel very nice to drive. In all classes of car I've been here, whether it's in a Le Mans car, a GT car, a sports car, a family hatchback, you know, a rally car, I've never felt much affinity with it. The only thing I will say is I do like the fact that it goes by the offices of the FIA. I think that big building we went past a moment ago is literally the headquarters of the FIA. That's a beautiful motorsports Easter egg for those of you who are into motorsport. But other than that, there's not really much to write home about. I love the cardboard cutout crowd that you can see behind the fencing there. The wonders of modern computing allows us to see things that the developers went to great lengths to hide on the PlayStation 2. Because this, of course, is not on an unofficial hardware. We are emulating this purely because it's the only way to run the modified ROM. At least I believe it is. It's nice to be able to use a DualShock 4 controller or a DualShock 5 instead of a DualShock 2. Mainly because instead of using X and square to accelerate and brake, you can use the triggers L2 and R2. And it's much, much better. You get so much better control. Yes, we're making smoke, we're gaining distance. If it wasn't on sports tyres, I'd have gone through that flat. But sports tyres just don't have the grip. I think another reason I don't really like this level, this route, is there's a lot of background detail which causes the game's frame rate to plummet. So if you think it looks a bit choppy at the moment, that's not the machine. The machine's running it fine. It's just the actual amount of frames conflate with each other. Conflicts, even not conflate. What am I talking about? So 2 minutes 37 seconds, and now we've got another 2 tracks to go, I think. We shall see. It might only be the one. It is the only one. We're at Suzuka. We've got 1 lap of the whole of Suzuka, I'm guessing. So this will be interesting. Suzuka Circuit was the track back when Gran Turismo 4 came out that everyone hated, apart from me, because it was a really technical circuit. And we've got a grid start. Very nice. That's what we're talking about. Now this is the track where you should see the 787B be much better than the AI here, purely because this is an actual circuit. Laguna Seca proved it, but this is very much a medium to high downforce circuit. Lots of high-speed cornering, lots of leaning on the tyre, so it'll definitely suit the Group C Le Mans car. Quite a wide line there through the hairpin. Very similar to the modern F1 line. A bit too wide there. The sports tyres pulled me off line. I'd normally brake at this little tarmac strip there, but I'm braking a bit earlier on the sports tyres. Purely because the sports tyres have a tendency to lock up. Kiss the outside curb and we go on towards the 130R. The corner where Fernando Alonso did his amazing outside overtake. Here, we are braking. Normally, I would take that flat, but given that this is the sports tyres, it just does not grip very well. Into the Casio triangle. And that is a lap of Suzuka Circuit. That's the Mazda 787B dominating the Club Race circuit. And what we want to know is what that 15-minute sojourn is going to have gained us. What prize car are we going to get? The dice has been rolled. Yes, the Honda Beat 91. Oh, yeah. Oh, now we're talking, people. Oh, now we're cooking with gas. Oh, yes. So we've either got the RX-8 Road Cup or the Roadster Cup. I've not got either of those cars, I don't think. We were 47.1%. We're now 48.2%. So, with that in mind, let's try and do another event. Just scrolling through right now. In fact, I'll tell you what. If I go to Mazda, I just want to see if I've got either the RX-8 or the... And the answer is no, I don't. I don't have either of them, so I can't use them. So we'll back out there for now. Let's have a look at some of the... Because I kept getting in my roulette a lot of Hondas and a lot of Nissans. Yeah, there's the S2000. We've got the... Oh, we've already done it. Right, well, that answers that one. Okay. What about Nissan? I think we've done quite a few of these as well. The R34 Skyline V-Spec Neur. Legendary car. We've actually got... Oh, we've got quite a few here, including an International A Race of the Red R emblem. So basically, the GTRs. Right. Okay. We're doing a Nissan tournament, especially the fact it's an international A license. I like the sound of that. So let's quickly go to Nissan. And we have quite a lot. So it's a question now of which one we use. See, look at all these skylines I've got. I've got the... It did say, oddly enough, the race of the Red R. Surely this doesn't count. It can't. It can't count. There's no way. Let's find out. If this counts, we'll use this. Yes, it has to be a skyline. There's no restrictions, but it must be a skyline. We are going to need to soup it up, but there are no restrictions, meaning we can put racing tyres on. So all those skylines I unlocked are now going to come in handy. So, what we want is... I think the best one here is probably going to be my 99 R34. Oh, what a thing of beauty. What a thing of beauty. My dream car is the Nissan Skyline R34. People always do those posts. If I won the lottery, I wouldn't tell you, but there would be signs. The first sign you would see is that on my driveway would be a GTR V-Spec R34 Skyline. Don't care about the year. There are only a couple of things. One, it will be yellow. And two, it will be modified to have more horsepower. Those are my only requirements. This beautiful, smooth jazz performance we've got here. So let's now quickly go to the Turismo tuning shop, and we will upgrade the car. As it said before, there are no restrictions, which means I'm spending a lot of money. I like the fact that with this version of the game, you get instant addition at the purchase. When I played the original GT4, you'd have to wait for the progress bar for them to be installed. You don't have that problem here. It's great. So that this little quality of life feature already makes the game feel a million times better. But yes, we're not messing around here. We're going all out, people. There are other events that this car will come in handy for. Because this is a tuning car. I'm not sparing any expense here. I've got the money to burn. I'm spending it. We are going all in. We're having a racing intercooler. And we're most definitely having a stage 4 turbo kit. We've now got more than 800 horsepower. It said there's no restrictions. I'm making sure there are no restrictions. No, we're not having sports tyres. We're having racing tyres. We're having more power. We're having more performance. We're having better control. Get the variable control differential just in case I want to mess around with the way the power's delivered. And then, of course, we're even going to drop the weight. That's cost me a lot of money. It's cost me about 200 grand. But it's going to be worth it. Race of the Red R. And they're all the classic skylines from the 70s are showing. That says ECC. Well, I've got a skyline. It's not a... Oh, 10 laps! Wow, these are going to be long races. Interesting, okay. 10 laps. Is it the full Mategi or is it the East or West course? It's the road course. That means it's a full course. Wow, okay, people. I've chosen a championship that's going to take a while here. This is a proper championship. This is insane. I don't remember this championship being... I don't remember this championship. You see, look at all these classic skylines, and there is another R34 there as well. Yeah, we're going on the bonnet for this one. Oh, I almost caught myself out then because I caught them so quickly. Those 80s box skylines, they actually are kind of cool, those 80s box ones. I kind of like them. There's the R32 GTSM. And then finally, we have the R32 again. So there's quite a lot of R32s at the front. Oh, God, that sounds and feels so nice. Even when I'm driving off the road because I'm an idiot. See, when the original Gran Turismo came out on the PS1, one of my mates was like, the Toyota Supra's back, sticking it 250 miles an hour. And then me and my mate's like, no, you want to get the Mitsubishi GTO. That can go just as fast, but it's four-wheel drive. So you're able to get around corners a bit easier. Yeah, I'm like, I have the Nismo 400R. And they went, no, that's nowhere near as top speed. And I'm like, no. But I can go around corners so much faster than you, I can destroy your lap times. And I did. And this feels nice to drive. I'm just hoping the medium tyres will hold up for 10 laps. That could be a tall order. I might need to pit. But if I do, I just need to build a lap. I need to build a gap. Oh yeah, this is going to be one long tournament, this, people. This race by itself is going to take nearly 20 minutes. This might actually end up being the video, believe it or not. Sounds beautiful though. I love that sound from the car. So Turismo is an interesting circuit. Oh. What happened there was I caught the inside curb and it pulled the car out of line, and that dragged me off at the second part of the corner. That was down to pure failure at my end. Nothing to do with the car. That was all down to me. Yeah, this feels beautiful to drive. Jeremy Clarkson once described the Nissan Skyline as taking the law of physics and wiping its shoes on them. And it's a pretty accurate description, to be honest. This is a circuit I don't know that well, and even now I'm absolutely thrashing the opposition. But you can see in the top right corner the total race time. That'll give you an idea of just how long this championship may take. If it's 5 races at this kind of length, it'll be about an hour and a half, which is a long championship. That's one thing that this game has over the modern Gran Turismos. The championships feel like championships. You don't have like 3 races at the same circuit. You have like an entire tournament where you have to really strategize and make things better. Anyone who's played the Formula Gran Turismo Championship will know what I'm talking about. I touched the grass then. That's why the car started to slide. The good news is we're already way ahead of the field. We're going to have enough time to go for a pit stop if required. So if the tyres don't hold up, that's fine. Because we're already around about 15 seconds a lap faster than the field, which is insane speed. So we unlocked the Honda Beat earlier. What are we going to unlock next, I wonder? Oh no, as we are deep in the recording session here. Trying to keep it as entertaining as I can for all you people out there who've actually checked this video out. Massive thank you to all of you people. Whether you've watched the previous live episodes or are watching this offline recorded version, either way, a huge thank you. So, we now hit ourselves into our stride. We will be saving our game after this race ends, because we want to make sure we're banking up for our progress. That's one thing you can do with the tournaments in this game. If it's an actual... The thing is, it's actually not a championship, so I don't have to finish this race today. I can take a look at how long it's going to be, and if it's going to be too long, I'll be able to back out and pick it up in between each one, just to break up the progress a bit. Because it's not actually had the GT Championship thing, you know, the white flag, where you have to go all the way to the end. But yeah, this tells me hard tyres were needed for this, maybe even super hard. Because you see the front left tyre is already nearly deep in the yellow zone. If at the end of the next lap, or the lap after, I can pit, I'll be fine. Any earlier than that and I might be in trouble because of the amount of time needed to pit stop. You have to make sure you use plenty of time in the pits. Fuel won't be a problem, so I don't have to do fuel stop, it's just tyres. And as you can see, we're very, very, very far in front, so we've got the time in the bank here. Yeah, 1 minute 15 seconds after 4 laps. That's absolutely ridiculous. Ooh, that front left tyre is really on the edge. I'm going to try and do one more lap. I'm going to see if I can make it. Evidently, these medium tyres don't hold up very long at all. I'm surprised that they've gone off after only 4 laps. That's very disappointing performance. Normally, you get at least 7 or 8 laps out of most tracks, but not on this car. This car is burning, and interestingly, it's on the front end. Normally, you get heavier tyre wear at the rear, which suggests I've got a front heavy driving. It's not understeering, so evidently it's not that. But yeah, these tyres are really feeling the pain. But that's the good thing, we can actually invest in hard tyres. We can go and get some. And there's a couple of cars at the back of the grid. And I'm saying, sorry guys, get out of my way. I'm coming through. But they're going to be spared the ignominy of finishing a lap behind, purely because of the pit stop requirement. The pit stop requirement should save the field from being lapped. But here we are, people. Halfway through the race, we're going into the pits. You could say that my tyre performance is the pits. Ugh. That was dreadful. That was so bad. Now, interestingly, if they have tyre wear, I may still finish way ahead of them because of the lack of time I spent in the pits then, because I was actually out of the pits very quickly. Being a pure tyre stop rather than fuel, we were able to get through quickly. One thing this game doesn't simulate, sadly, is weight loss when you burn fuel off. So the car doesn't get easier to handle, doesn't go faster when your car has burnt fuel, which is a real shame. I'd like to have seen that being simulated, but even the F1 games didn't simulate that till like the early 2010s. I don't think, unless it had it in the Formula 1 2006 game on the PS3 maybe. But the chances are we're going to finish a lap in front here, even with a pit stop, purely because of the sheer pace differential between our car and the opposition. It just shows how an unrestricted car can be absolutely broken. They're probably all hovering around about 450, 500 brake horsepower, and I'm here with nearly 900. Yeah, I said that the field were going to be spared the ignominy of being lapped. I was badly wrong. I've made all the time up in one lap, which is insane. That's just absolutely extraordinary. He struggled to keep it on the island then. He was almost going off the road. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. It's not a bad circuit, it's Motegi. It's quite a decent track. At the moment, we're on for a decent speed in terms of time, actually, as well, for the race. So, depending on how many races, I think there's 5 races to the championship. So, we'll see how we go. But you can see how I'm keeping the power on the corners here. It's just like absolutely beautiful to drive. I love the Nissan Skyline. I've won so many of them, as I showed when I did my manufacturer search. You could see just how many cars I won by manufacturer. And it's just an absolute joy to drive. What's great about the Gran Turismo games from this era is there was no racing line, apart from an option you could turn on in a license test. Every track you simply had to learn. It was all about getting out there and trying to find your line, which is something the game series needed to go back to, in my opinion. It needed to get a bit more understanding of how the games worked and how circuit racing worked. As I say, this is very, very much a dominant performance. We have got this in the bag. The Nissan Skyline that I've invested in here is more than paying for itself. I just love the smooth feeling of the car. It's just beautiful. It might burn the tyres at the front end, but oh my god, is it controlled. Yeah, it looks like we're going to be just shy of 20 minutes of race for this tournament. It's a long one. Very nice. Into the 46s. That's more like it. Just 2 more laps to go, and then we are out of this race. And I can see just where we're up to in terms of our progress. And also, crucially, how much of this tournament remains. I'm almost certain it's 4 more races. And if they're all as long as this one, they're ones you do want to break up. Of course, this is nowhere near the longest race in the championship. Nowhere near it. There's the 1,000 miles, which I'm going to do as a stream at some point. And then there's also the Formula Gran Turismo, which really takes its time. That's a very long tournament. Yes. I just love the control in this car. It's beautiful to drive. Proper tuning legend. And we are on the final lap. I never expected to need to pit stop in one of the manufacturer races. That shows how difficult some of these races can be. And you can see the amount of torture that the car has been through in terms of its tyre wear. And it's done, what, 10 laps and it's burned half a fuel tank. So it really shows just how much the standard road cars don't have the performance of the machines at the top end. They don't have the fuel tanks, they don't have the grip. It's a shame the racing modification was removed. The R34 Skyline Racing Modified in Gran Turismo 2 was one of my favourite cars. You could use it in almost anything. The question is, can I lap these other 2 cars? Can I put a second lap on them? Can I rub their faces in it beyond anything else? Or has the tyres given up? Have the tyres reached the end of their life? Because it looks like it to me. Those fast laps in the 146s have done the damage, I think. Oh, I don't know. We might be able to do it. Oh, no, that's rubbing salt in the wound. That is rubbing salt in the wounds. They finished 2 laps down in a manufacturer tournament. And I'm going to pull over to the pits. I'm going to celebrate with my crew, who aren't even on the wall. Yes, look at that. 18 minutes and 41 seconds. Look, 2 laps down. That is insane. But that's what happens when you've got such a high horsepower advantage. 12,000 credits that cost, that got me. That's a long time to win 12,000 credits. That's a very, very long time indeed. It shows just how difficult this championship can be. It's definitely one of the longer ones. So we'll back out here for now. So we get the memory card icon flashing. We were at 48.2%. We're now 48.3%. Gosh. Oh, now we're getting there, people. In the interim, are there any other ones other than the Race of the Red Emblem that we can use the GTR in? Just to like speed up a bit of production. Put the hard tyres on. That gives us a bit more durability for less grip. There's the Club Z, which has no restrictions, believe it or not. Right, okay. The Club Z. We can do that tournament, and I'll show you why. Because I'm almost certain I have one of the I have one of the GT cars. I have one of the race cars. And as we saw before, there are no restrictions. So we'll take a break from the race of the radar and we'll see how long the Club Z is. Yeah, you can click along to this like smooth jazz people. Not like free jazz ending. Before we actually spend any more money modifying this car, let's double check that it qualifies. It should do, and it does. Excellent. Okay, right. Actually, I don't think I'm going to need to modify it. It'll come with racing. It'll come with racing tires. It should come with racing tires, so this should be quite easy. I mean, it's not exactly fair, but the game lets you do it, so do it. Yeah, so you got these regular road cars, and then right at the back, in my 350Z GT car. Oh, yes. And that was a completely clean overtake as well. So while we could put horsepower into this to make it faster, this gives us a nice cruise. We'll be able to cruise to the flag here with this. You can hear how the car is kind of like being quite lackadaisical on the power. That's because it's only got base power. It hasn't been modified to up the restrictors or anything like that. I'm being honest, this will be a nice, smooth, relaxing race. Because we've not got loads of power going through the wheels, which is causing us to slide out. We're not putting too much strain on the engine. This will be a nice, quiet, easy Sunday drive. Because this makes me wonder if you could also get like the Carsonic Skyline or something like that, one of the racing cars, to use in the club in the race of the radar. And if that's the case, that'd be even better. The fact you can use this in the Club Z Championship is kind of hilarious. And as you can see, we're already way faster than the field. Without modifying anything else other than the oil, we're 26 seconds a lot quicker. These manufacturer tournaments are where quite a lot of the races are hidden in this game. It's amazing. The amount of races you can find by just looking around in the manufacturers is obscene. And some of them are incredibly challenging. The Opel Speedster tournament, for example, routinely gives you 200 A-spec points. Almost as much as the missions. And we have just one more lap of this, and then we will be good to go into the next race in the championship. a bit surprising that we didn't hit top speed there, given the length of the straight here in New York. But I think it's because the car has not had its power modified and upped. If we'd have upped the power, we'd have probably hit the maximum count quite quickly. Oh, yes. We are making smoke. We are causing as much power as we can. Yeah, the other cars didn't stand a chance there, let's be honest. They had no hope whatsoever. And because we didn't modify the car anyway, we saved money, which is great. See, that's 7,500 credits, which is less than a quarter of the time taken for... It's around about a quarter of the time, but we got more than half the cash of the race of the radar. So it shows how the scaling for some of the actual prizes just isn't quite right. Now, Tokyo 246, one of my favourite tracks on this game. Absolutely brilliant game. And because this time we've got a grid start, this will be much, much easier. We will fly past the field. We have rocketed off the line straight into the lead. This is normally where you'd have the one-lap magic, where they all get like a 35, 40-second lead, and you have to try and catch them up and win. They're not so bad, those races, except for one problem, which is even there in GT7 when they brought them back. And that is that you have to wait for them to start. I hate that. It should just be they're in position, off you go. Because often you have to drive a perfect lap. And if you've not driven that track with that particular car, you're not going to achieve that. It's especially obnoxious on the 34th driving mission in this game, where you have to take the Mercedes SLR McLaren around the Nürburgring Nordschleife on sports tyres. You have to wait nearly 2 minutes to get a go, and if you go off circuit once, you lose. But this is one of my favourite courses. I absolutely love this course. Because it feels like a proper street circuit would in the USA. And it's got a nice balanced tune to it. It's quite a balanced setup. I love the fact that we go past Sony's headquarters on this circuit as well. And I'd say we are quite far ahead now. Yep, 34 seconds ahead. That's how much faster than the field we are. In an unsouped up, untuned version of this car. If I tuned it up, it'd be so fast it'd be ridiculous. And now finally we head on the straight. We're heading for the flag. And all is looking good. Three minutes and 20 seconds. Not bad at all. Next race, please. In Club Z. El Capitan. 3 laps. This will be quite a long race. This will be about 6 minutes long. Good track though, El Capitan. Not seen since GT PSP, I don't think. I think that was the last time this track featured. Real shame that it's an absolute classic. Everyone loves it. Had to go onto the dust then to get past. That was annoying. So this part of the circuit is very, very gentle to drive because there's not much you need to do for it. But it's uphill here in a moment where you've got to be careful, because there's a jump right before a corner and it can massively mess up your line. So I mean, it's a very, very tricky corner that. Yes, this feels like a race in the Rocky Mountains. It's beautiful. And it still looks fabulous even today. I think this looks very impressive as a graphical display for the PS2. Okay, the trees are a bit unconvincing, I'll give you that, but if you look in the backdrop of the mountain, that looks awesome. For a static skybox, it does a great job. That's a 148. I love the speed in this, it's so cool. Well, so I mean, we took off on the jump then. I had to do an almost drift to get around that corner. It's part of the challenge of the circuit. You have to really get understanding of how the circuit feels underneath you. It drives in a very different way to a traditional racing circuit. You're constantly thinking like, almost you're more like on a toge run than on a regular circuit. You kind of like have to feel for the grip more. It's hard to describe because you have to be driving the car to really appreciate what I'm saying. But you just kind of, you get like an almost sixth sense as where you are on the grip and when you can push it. And it's quite admirable that a game as old as this is able to eschew that feeling from the player. This is the magic that you just don't get with GT7 or the modern one. I just don't get the same sense of feeling. Is that nostalgia talking? Partially. But there's a sense of truly achieving as a player that ended after GT4, in my opinion. Yeah, that was a lot faster this time. We went through there a lot quicker. Onto the outside, push the curb, aim to hit the bridge but not go into it. Say, it definitely has that more midnight tailgate kind of feel than a racing circuit. Maybe that's why the game never brought it back, because they went all in on circuit races and sim racers. But to me, that goes against the idea of, you know, Turismo, seeing all the world. And finally we head for the line. And we set a fastest lap at the end, which is awesome. Yes, the Motul Pitwork Z is a bit overpowered for this race, it must be said. But we've done that one, so off we go. It took just over 5 minutes, so a little faster than I thought it would be. I thought it'd be about 6 minutes, that. That's actually taken us a little bit quicker than I thought. So we've done half of the races. We're going to quickly back out for a second. Not because I want to do anything serious. Although, out of curiosity, the unupgraded version, we can't upgrade it here, so it sounds like it's going to be a turbocharge only. We can either go to 747 horsepower or 959 horsepower. Let's see just how much quicker we can make this. We've now got a stupid amount of horsepower. We've almost doubled our horsepower, and we're going to Laguna Seca, a track which isn't exactly a power circuit. So this is going to be interesting. With the standard car, we were dominating. How much more can we dominate by using a car with double the horsepower? See, already, look at how close I'm up the backside of that fake E-Type Jaguar. The Datsun 270Y. Well, that already feels very, very punchy in comparison to what I had before. This is with all the restrictors removed. The car is suddenly much, much faster. It's like, let's speed up production a bit. Let's make the car go faster through the bends. Well, you're not going to do that by going wide onto the dirt and applying the power too soon when you've doubled the power. The infamous corkscrew. Very easy to get that wrong. Gets the outside curb, and then you got this very deceptive corner. It looks like you can turn in early, but you can't. So we're into the 122s, pretty much. On a warm-up lap where we've had to overtake traffic. So we have 3 laps of Laguna Seca to do. According to this, we'll be on for about a 4-minute race. We want to get on the brakes nice and soon. Yeah, perfect. And through we go. Hits the outside apex, that'll do nicely. Into the 116s, so we are quick. Let's take a Formula 1 line through the first hairpin corner. I don't think we're going to quite have the pace to catch up and lap the field. I don't think we're going to lap anybody, but it's going to be close. We might get the back two, possibly. Depending on how slow they are going up to the corkscrew. Realistically, it wouldn't be a good idea to catch them to lap them, because it's an extra hazard that I have to deal with. But at the moment, it's looking possible. We might actually get close enough to lap them. I caught the two, the fake E-types at the right time. Just about got that right. So that's the difference that having the extra horsepower makes, people. We came very close to lapping the field. And even when lapping traffic, I set my fastest lap. They didn't like being lapped, did they, people? They did not like that at all. No one wants to finish a lap down. No one wants that. So we spent quite a bit of money in this particular recording today. We've had quite a lot of expense spared, shall we say. So the final race at Grand Valley Speedway, I think it's the full lap as well, given that it's a 2-lap race. If it was Grand Valley East, it would be a 4-lap race, I reckon. But because it's 2 laps, I think we've got the whole track. Indeed we do. And it's going to be a grid start, so we should, keyword being should here, have the pace to lap the field. Because they won't have the fake gap that's created by the rolling start. See, before they even realistically got off the line, I was in first place. My lightning start. Although that wasn't a lightning corner, that was poor. Into the tunnel part inspired by Monte Carlo as we head for the bridge. It's nice to see Grand Valley in its true glory here, not the butchered version that we saw in GT7 with the highway version, which was really, really poor. So it feels cathartic to be able to just get on the track and go. No messing around. High speed, high performance. Oh, we're looking good here. We're looking fast. On the brakes. Yeah, that's fine. Bit wide there, but it's okay. Rode the camber well. Perfect. Let's say, given the pace advantage that we've got in our car, we should come close to lapping the field, but now I'm looking at the gap again. I'm just not sure we'll quite get there. But we'll do what we can. We'll try and lap a couple of cars if possible. We did it at Laguna Seca, but we had the extra lap to play with there, which was an extra minute and an extra minute or so time. Here we don't quite have that luxury. Yeah, we're just down on pace to lap the field. We're just going to be down. The thing is, we're not going to lap the field now because they've all gone through. That's the problem. We needed the third lap, so I didn't think we'd have the pace to lap the field. But that's okay. It's not about lapping the field, it's about winning the race. Hits the outside apex for the final time, and boom, 141.7. Yeah, that was quite nice. So, we should now be able to roll the dice and find out what car we've won. Are we going to get a junker? Because we had the Honda Beats last time, which was... there. Let's be honest here, people, it was there. But can we do better? That's the question. Here we go. We've rolled the dice and we've got... Oh, very nice. It's another Nissan Skyline, but this time it's in purple. Beautiful looking car, the R34 Midnight Special. It's a beautiful machine. And it's one more JDM car to add to the collection. But it is a Nissan, so it makes sense to win it. So we've got the March Brothers, we've got the Sylvia Sisters, and then we've got the Race of the Red Emblem. Now, quick jaunt back to our home garage. We're now at 49.2%. We are not far off actually being able to get ourselves a special car, because we will very nearly have access to a to the 50% car. Now, I want to see if any of the Mercedes tournaments are available. Let's go to Deutschland. So in terms of events, we literally have Legends of the Silver Arrow and the SL Challenge. So any of those races will do, but we need to up this car. We need to up its power. So let's start by changing the oil. One of the oldest tricks in the game, this: if you change the oil for 200 miles, you get a slight horsepower boost for 50 credits. It's the cheapest way to up your horsepower. Works with any car as well, literally any. Change the oil, you get a slight boost in horsepower. Even if the car's brand new off the showroom. Doesn't matter. I'm going to record for a little while longer. Now, I'm going to put a bit more power in this car. It's going to need it. I don't believe there was any restrictions. So we can actually, so if anything, the racing tyres is going to be the most important part. So let's get some better tyres on for a start. That's going to be a big one. Go with medium tyres, it should be okay. And then we will also put an engine upgrade in. A stage 3 gets us 464 horsepower. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to fit it and it's not fitted it. That's annoying. Right, I'm going to have to do that in the race. Or at least try to. It's not a tournament, so that's good news. We don't have to worry about doing a tournament here. And we started the 90s version of Fuji. Now, I want to quickly change the ECU. Because that ups the power. We're now 500 brake horsepower. And this worked. Excellent. Okay, and we should be able to win this with ease. Not only with our tyres, but we've not got to worry about the SLR McLaren. as we are driving a very, very long, winded view here. We've got our camera up on the roof. Well, it gripped that beautifully. A beautiful grip through there. For a 500 brake horsepower car, it feels very sluggish. It feels very down on power. Makes me wonder if the gear ratios are a bit too long for it. It's quite grippy though, even though you can hear it squealing out a bit because the rear wheel drive is clearly counterbalancing it, but the acceleration is not really there. For a car with as much horsepower as it has, it doesn't feel very efficient at using that power. I'm hopeful that by doing this we can get to 50% completion, which for a randomizer prize cars only run is actually pretty impressive, because there's a lot of tournaments where the cars are hard to find, and finding one suitable at random, you know, is anyone's guess. Right, let's see just how good the power output on this car is. So I mean, it just feels very sluggish and very slow. The acceleration just is not there. Evidently I need to change the gearbox if I want to get the best out of this car. The good news is it handles the downhill braking zone there very well. So that's one advantage to it. The car has a nice poise. So the specs are okay, but compared to the Skyline, for example, the Skyline just delivered its power so much better, and even that Nissan Motor Pitwork Z unupgraded didn't feel this sluggish. Considering I've got a stage 3 NA tune, a better ECU, it just feels like it never really gets going as a car, but at the same time it makes it easy to handle. You don't feel like you've got too much power to control with your feet. Even when you lose control like that, you can get it back quite easily, because the car can be caught with a lot more nimbleness than you'd think. So we've got a very middle-of-the-road car here. It's certainly good for this tournament. I don't think I want to use it in the Legends of the Silver Arrow, though. The SL Club one. I just don't think it's got the ability. That was very nicely handled, wasn't it? 23 seconds down, not bad. So we're on course to win this tournament here, at least win this race. One race is at the Nürburgring Nordschleife, so that could be intriguing because it's quite a long lap, that, normally. And in this car, it feels like we'll have decent balance, so it should be okay through the top half of the course. But you can see there, it started to get on the brakes and it really struggled at a sudden stop. I was able to catch it, but going through somewhere like the carousel, that could be an absolute nightmare to handle. Either that or a crash. Still, we were only 1.5 tenths off our best time, despite that unexpected drift. So I'm not unimpressed with that. We did a decent job there. So we're back out of that race, and I believe we're going to have at least 2 more races to go. There's no way that was 0.8% of the game. Yes, so we have a lap of the Nordschleife. So this is where we're going to really see what this car can do. Of course, it is a German brand. We had to go to the Nürburgring. It is the iconic circuit of Germany. And so we've got the Mercedes SLR McLaren in this race. Well, now we're going to struggle. It says 1 point of A-spec. It shouldn't be because the Mercedes SLR McLaren's in the game. And the Mercedes SLR McLaren is a very, 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 very competitive car. So I'm not expecting this to be easy at all. Especially starting from the back. Well, the question is, just how good are they off the line? The SLR McLaren's got a lot more power than we do. A hell of a lot more power. So for us to win this race, we're going to have to outperform it everywhere else. We're going to have to be a lot grippier in the corners. We're going to have to be a lot smoother on the brakes. We're going to have to be a lot more controlled. Because that SLR McLaren can hit 200 miles an hour. Something we will struggle to do. He's already gone over the hills and far away from what I can see. Not helped by the slow nature of the AI here through this section of the circuit. The fact the SLR McLaren's in the race is bad enough. It's the fact that the SLR McLaren started in first. So if we're going to win, we've got to really tighten that gap somehow. The way to do it is in the mid-sections. Because here, and the final straight, it's going to dominate us. Let there be no doubt about that. I get the feeling this might not be possible to win, but it's early in the race. So let's not give up just yet. See, that gap's grown. That gap's increased. That gap has not come down. That gap has actually gone up by a long, long way. He's way in front. Now I can actually see him at least. He's up there. So he is closer. That wasn't the fastest way around that corner, but we managed to keep it in control at least, so it could have been worse. I mean, the thing is that I'm pretty sure that SLR McLaren's decent in the corners too, so unless he's on sports tyres, he should easily dominate me here as well. So I'm not so sure that this is going to be one we can catch up that easily. Again, if it had started in the mid-pack, it'd have been different. Because we'd have been on level pegging, because he started in first place. So I can't even see him, despite him being on the actual minimap relatively close. Right, he's just gone through the bend up there, I've just seen him. This is where the circuit plays to his advantage in that respect, because he can get close. I think this is going to be very difficult to win. I think if the SLR McLaren's in this, you're going to lose. It's a bit unbalanced when you have cars like that starting in first. But again, this is one of the endemic issues with Gran Turismo, in that there are a lot of races which are known as Chase the Rabbit. And the problem is, if they get the rabbit in the wrong car, then you're chasing fruitlessly. And they do to chase the rabbit because they don't know how to do true AI. That's Polyphona's greatest Achilles heel, and it's been that way ever since the first game. It's certainly that way in GT7, where they had to try and outsource their AI for Sophie, and it hasn't worked. And so I don't think I'm catching him. I just don't think I've got that. I don't think I've got what it takes. Even if I get a perfect line, I just don't think I'm catching the SLR. You can see how much faster I am than the rest of the field. I'm way faster than them. But that gap is just not decreasing no matter what I do. So I think this is a forlorn hope, this one. I think this race is beyond me. The only way this can be won is if he makes a cataclysmic error. And I don't think it's going to do that. I don't think the AI is scripted to do it. As I say, the SLR has got way more power than my car. Way more power. And there's some, despite this car being maxed out, it's just not very good. It's okay in the corners, but it's nothing special. And its acceleration is sluggish, despite having 500 power. It's just lacking something. Now, if that's down to the transmission, then I can go and upgrade it. But we're so close to the end now, there's no point in us backing out and quitting. Might as well finish it. Well, this is where he's just going to go romping away. You can see him on the horizon, and I'm just not going to close that down. Because look at the car. It's just not accelerating quickly enough. It is sluggish as anything. That is so poor. For a 500 brake horsepower car, that's disappointing. I'm not expecting vertical takeoff, but that is slow. That is a very, very poor performance. It's just lacking everything needed. And you can see how much that SLR is out of class here. Compare it to the rest of the field. You know what I mean? This is where that car shouldn't really be in the field. It shouldn't be here. I mean, he needed it in 7 minutes, what, 25? Yes, I mean, that was it. It was a 10-second difference. There was no way I was catching that up. That's disappointing. I'm very, very disappointed. I'm extremely disappointed in this car. I expected better. But again, the big problem is its lack of guts. Despite having 500 horsepower, it's so sluggish. It just wasn't closing the gap. So, let's see if I can fix that. Let's see if I can fix it by upgrading the brake, by upgrading the transmission. Also, another thing that will help is reducing weight. Right, we're just taking 300 kilos off the car. So it has a lot more. It has a better drivetrain. And it has a lot less weight. Now, that might be part of the issue. 300 kilograms in weight is a lot. That's like 3.2 of me that you're carrying. That's a lot less weight in the car. The SLR McLaren's there, but this time it's starting in second place. That gives us a better chance to catch up. Better, not guaranteed. And we also, this time, have a lighter car. So it's much lighter. It should, as a result of that, with any luck, be better at acceleration. It stands to reason that with a fully modified gearbox, racing performances, get out of my way! Move! Off my racing line! Right, well, he's already not over the hills and far away. I don't know if starting in second place made a big difference there, but it certainly kept him a lot closer. And now the car feels like it's getting up to speed a lot faster. It feels a lot quicker. Whoa, what the hell? My car took off then. It shouldn't have done that. Well, that's lost me the race. Right there, that's lost me the race. I know for a fact. There's no way I'm going to make that up. Oh, alright, yeah, screw this. I'm restarting for a reason. Did you just see the engine topping out at 158? I know what's happened here. The gear ratios are too short. I'm going to manually change it. I'm adjusting the gear ratios. It explains why I was getting up to speed quickly, but the problem was it was simply too slow. The engine was blowing up at 160. That's nowhere near good enough. Let's have a look at what the ratios are. Yeah, ratio 11. Not even close. Want much longer gear ratios than that. They need to be a lot longer than that. Right. Okay, we're trying again. I'm not sure if that's I didn't see the actual roster of cars, so I'm not sure which ones are in it now. So this is going to affect the race somewhat. We're going in blind, we're going in cold. Best way for me to get past them then. What happens when you try and crash into me, you pillock? And I don't believe that's an SLR McLaren. So I might now be on for a relatively comfortable victory. I don't think one showed up. Yeah, that's fine. This now should, keyword being should, be a comfortable victory. Yeah, I deliberately slowed down there so I didn't jump over the hills. Now we're on for a much better run. I had to get on the brakes a little bit there, not too heavy, a little bit enough. So having upgraded the car, if we'd have recycled a couple of times, we didn't even need to do it. The only advantage is it might give us a chance to do the Legends of the Silver Arrow with this car. But it depends on what we get as a prize car for this. If we get a decent prize car, we're not going to need to bother. But if we do get a rubbish prize car, we might be alright. Oh, really? What was that? Answer, a load of rubbish. Yeah, really didn't like the braking point then. It was really struggling to get braking into the corners. Even with the lighter weight. By cutting 300 kilos off this car's weight, that's made a big difference. We're doing well here. So, we keep on driving. We're on our way forwards. We're doing okay. This is okay, it's holding up the car, and because there's no SLR McLaren to catch up to, we're motoring on towards success. So after this race, we'll check out what happens at Opera Paris, and hopefully we'll be in position to get ourselves another decent prize car. So we've had the Honda Beat, which was meh, and then we've had the Nissan Skyline, because evidently the game knows I like my Skylines. My name on this roll has brought up the JDM Legends. I don't know why, I've had a lot of JDM cars. I've not got a problem with it, but it's just like, I'd like some more variety. But I have to say, I've also had some crackers as well. I've had the Mazda 7A7B, I've had the BMW V12 LMR, I've had the Toyota GT1 Smice, I've had the Bentley Speed 8. So I've had some great cars given to me too, so I'm not complaining as such, because it's been a good mix of machines. We had the Dodge Viper GTSR, so I've had some decent machines. And this car is a bit better balanced now. It still feels a little sluggish with the acceleration, but it's not as bad as it was. It was really struggling to make any headway earlier on. The gears made all the difference. Got a lot more power out of it by being able to deliver it better. Because last time it wasn't that we literally ran out of revs and we couldn't go any higher like we did first time. This time it was because we literally just couldn't get to it because it wasn't delivering the power well enough. Now though, we're much closer. 7 minutes 35 seconds is what our previous lap time was. Bearing in mind we didn't have a racing transmission and we had an extra 300 kilos of ballast weight, so we should be much faster. If we're not, I want to know what the hell this game's simulating. Apart from poor driving. Okay, so let's see how much quicker we can get to top speed here. So we're already at 140, which is way faster than last time. Yeah, so now we've hit 160, 165, 170. So now we're getting a lot closer to the car's top speed. But we're still topping out at 180, 182. So it's still kind of disappointing power-wise. It's not got the power of like... Despite having all the horsepower, the car's not capable of giving the speed. Evidently, the aerodynamics and the nature of the engine just don't deliver the power to the level required. Now, bear in mind that he did it in 725. I'm still going to come in slower than him. So if there was an SLR McLaren, I'd still lost this race. But only by a couple of seconds this time. But it doesn't matter, because we won. We got to the end of the road, as they say. In a car which has been not brilliant. It's not brilliant at all. So now we will back out. Because we can. And finally, we go on to Opera Paris. Yes, it's a rare day we have sun here in the UK. It's in November, it's still cold, but we've got bright sunshine for the first time in years. 3 laps of the Opera Paris. Now, I don't know, again, if there's a Mercedes SLR McLaren in this race. I think there might be, right near the front. It was just overtaking all the other cars on the outside. Whereas my car's trying to overtake on the inside and it's causing me all kinds of problems. That is a horrible way to give control to the player. Could they have given me control in a worse plate possible than that? That was pathetic. Yep, there's an SLR McLaren, I can see it. There's an AMG Mercedes black of some kind there, by the looks of it. Sorry, mate. I wasn't about to give you an easy ride. Okay, now the chase is on. It's Mercedes versus Mercedes. The only advantage is they slow down a lot for that quick corner there, whereas I don't as the player. So that's one advantage. I've got one place that I'm able to gap the field. Admittedly, it was dirty of me to use the SLR McLaren as a brake and give myself a chance, but you know what? You got to equalise the odds somehow. Plus, the AI gave me control of my car in the middle of a crash, so I think we're about even now. I pulled out a decent gap here, I've just got to try and keep it. Because I don't believe the SLR McLaren has yet got by second place. He must have gone too wide and been overtaken, so that was quite strategic of me. And it's given me a huge advantage, and I've just got to stick with it as best as I can. Yeah, now he's got through. Now the SLR McLaren's in second place. This is where we see just how fast that car is. Can it overhaul the difference? Probably not. The race is just too short. I've just taken enough of an advantage by dirty tactics. Yes, flip the inside apex, beautiful. I hate that corner there, I hate it. It seems like the corner just forces all grip away from you halfway through the corner. It's a weird corner in terms of its profile. Or at least it feels that way to me. It's probably more to do with my driving talent, or absence of. But the key thing is that we are in first place. We are on par to win. Not by the most legit means. This entire tournament's not been legit, but it's fine. Because there's nothing to stop me doing it. The game's not penalising me. So all is good. All is good. Yes, we're looking good. And now we're taking victory. A mighty 4 A-spec points, and that little collision outside the FIA building won us that race by quite a long way. We don't even know what the time was because we gained that much back illegitimately. I agree wholeheartedly. It was illegitimate. But the win is a win. And that's what matters the most. So here we go. Let's see what we get on the roulette wheel. We got a Honda Prelude. It's another sodding Honda. Honda, Nissan, Honda. And we're not even at 50% completion, so we don't get a car for that either yet. We're at 49.7. We're almost there. We're almost at 50%. We want to get to 50% before this video completes. That's what we want to do. Let's see. We've got the 70s classics. I've not got any 70s cars, so I can't run it in those. In the British one... Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Sorry, I didn't mean the British one. I meant the European one, even. We've got the Deutsch Touring Meisterschaft, the European Classic Car, the European Hot Hatch, the 1000 Miles, the Schwarzwaldliga A, which... Oh, it doesn't count. My Mercedes doesn't count. Boo. It's not a hot hatch, so it won't count for that. But the 206 RC or something like that would. And then the classic car is up to 1970. Do I have any cars from that era? European? Shelby Cobra doesn't count. No, nothing there either. Nothing there. The Honda Beat isn't European, so I can't use that. I could try using that, believe it or not, in the 70s Classics Japan race if I wanted to. The Mazda 60 is from the 60s, so I can't use that. Again, the Skyline's from the 60s. The 90s, and the 90s. So all my cars are out of period, which is really, really infuriating. It's so irritating. That's a rally car, so I can't use that. Yes, I can use my VW Lupo. Woo. That's not a hot hatch. That's not European, so that doesn't count. I'm trying to see if I've got anything that I can use that would be suitable for these cars, but I don't think I've got anything that works. I mean, out of curiosity, does this VW Bora qualify for the Schwarzliga A? I wonder. Yes, it does. Right, okay. I can use the Volkswagen. We are going to do... Oh, hang on, wait, I didn't mean to come here. No, 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 I don't want to quit. I do not want to quit. I'm guessing it's going to be sports tyres. Yeah, standard or sports tyres are required. Other than that, there's no limits. So let's change the oil. Fire up that unbelievably happy jazz music. No, I don't. That was the sound of me dropping my controller, people. Do apologise. Now, the question is this an actual championship? If it is, then we might be here for a little while longer. Yeah, they do actually have events here as well, but it's literally the Beetle Cup, the GTI Cup, and the Lupo Cup. So my Lupo I can use here as well, so the Lupo is actually something I can use. Right, let's get some extra power into this baby. We're going to need it. I don't want too much power. A stage 2 gets us to 283 for 12,000. That gets us 316. I'm going to go with stage 2, actually. I don't want to spend too much money. That'll do. Right, let's try that. So we'll go to the Schwarzwald Liga A. It says 200 plus, and it's only three races too. Even better. Nice. So let's see how we go. It's an A-class license, so in terms of the license classification, this should be quite straightforward. But it doesn't mean it will be. A 57-point A-spec race. That's not the easiest. It's possible we might be underpowered. But an underpowered car is not necessarily a bad thing if you've got better grip. This course, of course, Trial Mountain, is very in between. It's either all power or all grip. It doesn't really go either way. That's the problem for me when it kills the revs. I don't know what it is, but there's something about the cars that can kill the revs. Once the revs are killed, it becomes almost impossible. So I've got my foot planted to the floor and the car's just not going forward. It's like something stops the car from driving. It's like, will you kindly let my car go? Stop interfering. I've got my foot to the floor for a reason. The good thing is we're now in the lead. The question is, can we stay here? Well, we might be able to if we can exploit a known trick, which is to go through that corner quite quickly. So it's quite a long lap, this. Okay, we're doing alright, not bad. So this car's As I say, it's not. It's almost equal power with the others. It's got something that gives it an edge, apparently, because it's like if it was the same like car's pace, it'd be 60 A-spec points. We got 57, so it tells me that we got a car which is it's either underpowered and got a little extra grip somewhere, or got a little extra power and less grip. I'm not sure which way it's going. The good thing is that we've got a car which has got the pace to not blow the field away, and we're having to actually be a little more strategic in our driving. We're still open a decent gap. What we have to do now is be consistent. That's the hard part with this kind of racing. And it's trying to make sure we have the revs to keep going, because I think that's where the issues come in. The car loses revs, and then it just means that the opposition can drive clean up to us. With four-wheel drive, you think it shouldn't be a problem, but A, the Quattro behind us has four-wheel drive, and B, I don't think the four-wheel drive system here is as good as the Audi. But the good thing is we are in front, so we're just got to keep it together as best as we can. It's a great circuit to drive, this Trial Mountain. It's one of the better original circuits. It has a real balance and style. I just wished it had the balls in GT7 to set it in Scotland, which is where everyone believed it was, but it's not. Apparently it's in Oregon in the USA. Despite Nessie being in the lake and all the other things that suggest it's British. It featured in all the British tournaments and the classic games, and for some reason it's now been moved to the USA, and it's annoying. In GT7, the UK representation is Goodwood. That's it. They could have at least had this as a second circuit. Still, we're on course to take a victory here in the Schwarzliga A, the Schwarzwaldliga A, and we hopefully will hit 50% completion here and get ourselves a prize car. The prize car for completing half the game is, well, whatever the wheel decides. We're not in control. We have no input, and I kind of like that. I've heard of some people saying you can manipulate it by choosing a certain name, and I'm no doubt you probably can, but I'm happy with what I've got so far. A good point, a good A-spec haul point. So how far ahead? We finished 12 seconds in front. My concern here is that on a track where it's going to be a rolling start, we could be at a serious disadvantage. But there's only one way to find out, and that's by doing the race. Opera Paris. Yeah, this is the track I'm not looking forward to. This is a track where I may have to revisit and go and get the extra horsepower, but I want to try and avoid it if I can. 3 BMWs and 2 Audis, so it's not the best lineup. Yeah, we've got a car that's underpowered, and we're going backwards this time. That is, the part that concerns me is right at the top end of the course, right by the FIA building. Because that's an acceleration-heavy point, and this car's not been great for that. So, I mean, just listen to that. Well, we're in touching distance at the moment, so it's not yet over. I don't know if I just got a love tap then that made me go offline, but you can see how the Hardy has now pulled away. This is where the rolling starts, I don't think, are balanced properly. The rolling starts start you too far back for these chase the rabbits to work. And it becomes a experiment in building a time trial car rather than a race car, and I find that really infuriating. Because it'd be nice to have a proper race, but unfortunately, if they get the lead early like this, there's nothing you can do. You just got to sit back and watch. I mean, the only way you can do it is if you get a lucky run that saves you some time. You know, if they do something in their driving that allows you to catch up. It's not rubber banded either. That's my ultimate pet hate, by the way. I can't stand rubber banded AI. Rubber banded AI really annoys me. Because it becomes a case of not you being good or bad, but the game not being able to accommodate either way. So you can at least give Polyphony credit for the fact that the game isn't relying on rubber banded physics. Rubber band AI is awful. But I'm not catching that guy up. There's nothing I can do. I can't get near him. Because the car he's got started in first place with a free gap to everybody else, and I hate that. It's like the ability to qualify is something you need to be able to do. You need to be able to qualify. Either that or the pack should, if they're doing a formation start, like, you know, a rolling start, it should be like in Formula 1, where they're all right next to each other. They're not spread out. That's my problem with the rolling starts. But there is one thing I can do. If I can get close enough, I can smack him up the arse and take him off the road that way and pass him that way. Because if they're gonna rely on impossible ways to win, I can too. And so if I can't get near him at the end of this lap, I'm quitting and I'm going and putting the stage 3 turbo kit in. I mean, that gap's come down, so I'm going to try and stick it out. Accelerate! Don't spin the tyres sideways, just go! That's my frustration, something's interfering with the car. I'm too far back, I can't dive bomb him from here. Tell you what, that gap's come down, but it's not come down enough, I don't think. We shall see. Yeah, that gap's a lot closer now. Yeah, it's like there's a bump or something in that corner that drags you offline. I don't know what it is, but every time I take in that corner, I lose loads of grip in the middle of the corner for no reason. Well, I don't mean for no reason, there obviously is a reason, I just don't know what that reason is. And so I don't believe I'm close enough to do what I want to do. He's got this. There's nothing I can do unless I get a really good run through the chicane. So I will be going back and spending a lot of money on putting a stage 3 NA kit in this. Again, it proves all. Look at the difference between us and the rest of the field. But look at the proof that shows you for the way the rolling starts work in this game. The rolling starts in this game are bullshit. They are far, far too overpowered for the person in front. I closed that gap down all that way. The BMW M98, meanwhile, I'm going to let it run. 15 seconds behind us. It just shows how ridiculous the rolling starts are. Well, there's a couple of other things I'm going to do here. I'm also changing my tyres. I'm going to put soft tyres on, and I'm also going to put the extra horsepower in. If you're not going to play fair, neither am I. Fine. You want it that way? You got it. I'm having an extra 46 horsepower. I'm even going to give myself fucking nitrous. I'm going to do everything I can to win this. If you're going to be cheap, I'm going to be cheap. I tried reasoning with you, and because of the way you set the game up, I'm now going to cheat. Or not cheat, but I'm going to literally abuse a mechanic in the game. Now you see, look at that. It's gone from 63 base bet points to 12. Just by changing those things there. It shows you the difference. That's what I don't like about this. Sometimes the whole process requires you to do stupid things in order to have a chance. Yep, the nitrous works. I've just proven it. You're not getting away from me that easily, pal. Get thee behind me, Satan. There we are. Do what you have to do to win. And if that means using nitrous, changing the compounds, do it. Put them in their place. It's a shame. That last race would have been brilliant if it had been a bit better balanced. Now we give ourselves a real chance. Car's got a lot more power, feels much more controlled. Considering it's only 40 odd horsepower, it just shows the difference that the tyres and the tiny little nuances can make to the car. It's crazy. That was helpful. When I got on the brakes, then it naturally leaned into the corner. It was almost like I created extra camber when I was doing the braking, which seems somewhat odd to me. But it worked. I'm not going to complain. So much faster through there. That felt so much nippier. Because the car's actually gripping into the corner now. I'm surprised that the VW Golf hasn't been overhauled. I'm surprised by that. Let's see, if you could put racing tyres on in this, it'd make it far more enjoyable. Because the sports and standard tyres are just pretty poor. They just don't have any grip at all. Even like, you know, the likes of the Mazda 787B can't grip on sports tyres. So the use of nitrous is kind of hilarious. It's almost like using KERS in Formula 1. Get that extra horsepower out of a corner when you can carry yourself forward. And that extra grip there has made all the difference. See, we've now pulled out a gap of nearly 15 seconds ourselves, all because of the fact that we've gone into cheat mode and abused the ability to put nitrous and tyres on the car. Obviously the game doesn't stop you from doing it, so it's not technically cheating, but it's not really in the spirit of the race when you're able to dominate the opposition by what are pretty arbitrary means when you think about it. Still, the VW Bora has now served its purpose. I wanted it for something. At some point I knew I could use the car. And it's thanks to changing the tyres, thanks to giving us a bit more power, the car has now shown what it's capable of. So it seems strange that the four-wheel drive cars drain the front tyres more. You'd think they'd have more rear-based power, just so that the cars, like, you know, kind of like an 80-20 split between the front and the rear. That's what you'd expect. Of course, if you want to mess around with the VCD, the variable control differential that is, you can actually be able to do that anyway if you want to, but it just seems odd to me. But we win. It wasn't exactly fair, but sometimes you got to be a dirty tactician in order to win. We saw that with the SLR McLaren race, after all, when we beat the SLR McLaren. So I say this series, I did say before, is now coming offline. I'm going to do it via offline recordings because I like to be able to stack the recording. But here we go. We've got a prize car. For what? It's the Mazda MX-5 VR Miata Limited. That was for getting a completion rate of 50%, and that means we've now got a car for the Mazda Roadster manufacturer tournament. We actually have one. So that's great news. So we've now got the Mazda Miata, which we can use. We've also got one for... It just gives us a bit of an option for any of the convertibles. We're doing 4 laps of Autumn Ring. Now this has got a 16-point A-spec race, this one. Be interesting to see how the Bora goes here. So I want to do this via offline recording now rather than streaming the races, because it's just nice to be able to record it as we go. So we're going to see a bit more of this content potentially. I am looking at potentially getting some video editing software. I'm waiting for a Black Friday deal for that, because if I can get some video editing software, I want to be able to start doing some edited Let's Plays on another channel. I've also been debating whether I should return to Twitch, because I've had an idea which depends on, if anything, if my system can do something. But I need to do a test. I need to do a test stream, a high intensity game on a test stream. Well, we do have the option to use nitrous, but I'm not going to use it just yet. And the reason I'm not using it just yet is because I want to see if I can actually beat them legit. If I find a situation like at Opera Paris, where the gaps aren't closing down, the nitrous could make all the difference. But you can see how much wider they took that corner there, which wasn't a good line at all. They also don't do the straight line and the chicanes like everybody else did back in the day. If you didn't do that on GT1 or GT2, you're playing it wrong. That is the way to get those corners. Go straight, don't even attempt to take the racing line, just fly over them. Because by the time you've lost speed, you've gained it all back for avoiding the braking. You heard then how the car just wasn't accelerating. That's part of the issue with some of the sports tyres. They just don't have the grip to plant the power and turn. So you get a very understeery, very sluggish reaction. However, we are in the clear, so I think we're going to be able to see this through and complete this championship. But we're doing okay, we're doing alright. And thus far, we're sticking to the manufacturer tournaments mostly, although this is the Schwarzwald Liga 8. I would like to get, if possible, a decent car for the 70s Japanese race, like one of the 70s Skylines, or ideally the Toyota TRD 2000 GT. A car like that would give me a real chance. The cars I've got at the moment are just too slow. And I'd say at some point I will do the 1,000 miles. For that one, I will be looking to do that one as a very, very long series of recordings rather than streaming them. Yep, all good thus far here in the VW Bora. It's done its job well. See, a black VW Bora was always a problem for people in Forza 4 online lobbies. Seeing a black VW Bora meant that you were up against a DLC car. And the problem was the DLC car's dimensions never matched the VW Bora. So you'd have no idea if you were ahead of someone, behind someone, or going to ram them off the road. We used to hate that situation if you ever raced online in the Forza 4 days. I remember Forza 4 on the Xbox 360, racing it live. We had some right fun. We also had some arseholes as well. But of course, it's online. You're always going to get arseholes. And across the line with our slowest lap, but we did it by quite a long way. Beat the Audi S3, who was nipping our tails all the way. That car almost feels overpowered for this. Maybe that's part of the problem. That car could be a bit OP, but it wasn't as OP as my VW Bora. So here we go, people. Let's roll the dice. What are we going to get? We've got... Hey, the Audi TT. Nice. We have an Audi TT. It's like, I have an Audi TT. Speaking of Audi, do they have any championship races? They have the Tourist Trophy and the A3 Cup. So, interestingly, I need to use the TT for an event. The question is... Yeah, we're at 50.2% complete now, people. Oh, yeah. You have the Audi A4 touring car and the Audi TT. So, let's take a car that Jeremy Clarkson once famously said was for hairdressers. Which is very unfair. Most hairdressers I know have got far better style than to drive an Audi TT. We'll up the power, and I'm going to see just how it drives stock. Just to see how strong the opposition is. If the opposition literally melt my face, then we know full well that it's not possible. If, however, it's not as challenging, we'll stick it out. It's a shame that I didn't get the Audi TT DTM car. I've got the Audi A4 touring car, but not the TT car. The Audi TT car is great. So it's B-spec. There's no restrictions on this, so we can actually put racing tyres on it. It's a free race tournament. Tell you what. Let's make a few minor modifications. Let's get some medium tyres. Medium racing tyres. And then we'll also bang a turbo in it. That gets us to 270. That gets us to 290. We'll do that. We'll give ourselves a little extra power. I mean, I've got to be careful because I've only got 800 and 1,000 credits left now. I started this recording at 1.4 million. So I spent a lot of money. And the championship prize total is not a lot either, so we're not going to make a lot of cash here. It's a question of what car we get. If we get the TT DTM car, we're backing out. No, we're all the same. We can qualify if we want, but this is actually a grid start, so we will go from the beginning here. So the racing tyres are what's going to make all the difference here. Well, it handles very, very well. In fact, it handles tremendously well. So we'll give that to this car. It has very good handling. Again, how much of that is down to the racing tyres is up for debate. But it brakes very quickly. It stops very, very sharply. It's interesting for a championship to only be 3 races as well. That's a bit short. Not that I'm complaining. I like a decent championship length. Compare it to the Nissan GTR Radar version, where it's like 5 races, each one being like 20 minutes long. I imagine the normal prize cards, you get a decent return for that. But in this randomizer mode, you can get almost anything. Still, it felt nice to win a Audi TT from a European and especially German-based tournament championship. That's actually very on point. But yeah, this car is really quite nippy. It has an odd feeling. It doesn't feel very fast yet. It's getting up to pace quite sharply. It's turning quite well. And its brakes operate very, very forcefully. So you get a real balance of the car. Is it going to be dominating any championships apart from this one? Not a chance. It's not got anywhere near the speed. But it does do a phenomenal job through the corners. See there was a minor slip and slide, and then we're through. And again, we're 17 seconds a lap quicker than the field at the moment. So I think a lot of this is down to the racing tyres. The racing tyres are making a big difference. Oh, caught the wall then. That wasn't so smart of me. Yeah, you do get quite a lot of deep braking in this car. They'd say the grip is very, very nice. I don't feel like I'm out of control at all. It's got great poise, great style. And we head for the flag. We are very, very quick. 156. Not bad at all. Very, very nice. So that's the first race of the championship in the bag. We won by quite a long way, so this is a very sedate, gentle kind of championship. 35,000 credits up for grabs if we win all 3 races and the championship with it. So that's pretty good. And it'll give us an opportunity to win something. Now we're doing Tokyo 246 reverse. It's only 1 lap. And the best part is, it's another grid start, so that's awesome. With grid starts, you don't have to waste time qualifying because the gaps are far smaller. With grid starts, you can get on, blast up, and you can see the pack are already close together. There's no spread here. There's no spread of the field. So even though they had the initial advantage at the start, I've been able to get much closer to them. See, I was able to brake much later than normal for that corner. I normally can't brake anywhere near that. And as you can see, we keep on trying to lead from the front. Little kiss of the apex there. A lot of the time the AI like to jump over that and it slows you down. Avoid doing what the AI do. Don't take too much on that curb. Your car jumps in the air, it distorts your balance, messes up your grip, and costs you speed. Now, of course, I like the fact that this game's called Tourist Trophy, this tournament. That's an Easter egg to the motorcycle Gran Turismo game that came out in this era, called Tourist Trophy. I don't think it's ever had any kind of follow-up to it. It was a one-off. I've never played that. That might be something I do as an offline edited stream at some point. Gran Turismo, but with bikes, kind of thing. But we are well in the clear here. This is easy for us to win. We've got this in the bag. Absolutely superb race. We had no problem there at all. So with only one lap to exploit, we didn't pull a gigantic gap out, but we still won by an impressive 13 seconds. So 13 seconds a lap faster than the field. That's insane. That doesn't include the fact that they got to the start line before me, so it could be more like 15 or 16 seconds. Either way, we've got a fantastic result there, people. And then the final race is 2 laps of Deep Forest. This will not be a grid start, but because we've got 2 laps to play with, we're going to go all in. We're going to go hard. And let's see if we can win from the back. We've got a decent cushion in the championship, so we should be able to afford to come possibly third, no lower than second ideally. Well, of course, I don't want to finish in either of those places. I want to win. And the question is, can I? Well, we start by going off the course there, but getting away with it. Absolutely beautiful. That handled so awesomely through there. I had no problems with grip whatsoever. So for those who aren't aware, this circuit is Kazunori Yamauchi's favourite. It's why it's featured as much as it has in the series. This configuration of it is quite nice, but it's not the modern version where they've got the ending with the hairpin. I really don't like. It took away a lot of the charm, in my opinion. It's also a track that I think is overused in the modern games. It is significantly overused. Whoa, that was a bit different. It was almost like I hit the handbrake then. I didn't, but it felt like it. The car just snapped on me. It was a bit of an unusual one, that. We got away with it. Not the fastest way around the corner, that, people, I must say. Oh yes, we're going good. Yeah, go outside the lines there. No penalty for it. Normally it'd be a drive-through penalty or something for constantly abusing that or lap times, but I don't have to worry about that in this game. That's one of the features that's nice. It's completely unnecessary. Our car is much faster than the field anyway. But it doesn't matter because we are headed for the line and the completion of the championship. So the question is, what do we get for it? I'm actually surprised we got any A-spec points for that. Considering we got racing tyres and an upgraded car. I'm actually quite surprised. Yeah, see Tourist Trophy right there. And here is the championship. Check out the key ring. Oh, yes. We're back to 900,000 credits, which is quite nice. We won all 3 races. We won by a country mile. We have won. Another Honda Prelude. It's exactly the same car that I won earlier. Ugh. Another sodden Honda Prelude. Why? Why are you doing this to me, game? Why must you treat me this way? Well, we do have the Lupo Cup, the GTI Cup for VW. Meanwhile, BMW have the 1 Series and Club M, which is basically you have to have an M-class car. Don't think I've got any M cars. I don't think I've got an M3, I don't think I've got an M5. So let's find out. So let's start by looking at, yeah, BMW, we've got, yeah, the V12 LMR. There's no way this counts. Technically, it's an M car. On the stringest of technicalities. I do not believe for a second this is going to qualify. But I'm going to find out. Yeah, I knew it. There was no way. Not a chance. There was no way that was going to happen. So we know we've not got any of the BMW ones we can do. In the VW... Let's say if we go for Germany, for example, it gives you a list of all the German cars we have. And as I say, we do have the Opel Calibra touring car. We can't use that. We can, however, use the VW Lupo. Oh, it's a racing version. Will that count? Will I be able to use that? I'm curious. I'm gonna find out. Yes, believe it or not, it counts. That actually counts. I can't believe it. Right. I'm going to try it as it is, bone stock. I'm going to try the VW Lupo. It also makes me wonder, I don't think it'll count, but if you can use that in the hot hatch one. It doesn't make sense, but we'll try it anyway. Oh, 117 because there's actually... Oh, I see. They're all in this car. So ironically, I'm going to need to go and soup it up. I think. We've all got the same car. It's literally a touring car event. Can we win it with a bone stock car? Is it possible? Can we do it? Surely not. Surely we can't win this with a bone stock car. However, we can cheat. That's one thing the computer can't do. We can actually cheat. I'm going to see if it's possible. Can we win this tournament in an underpowered, unmodified version? By hook or by crook? Can we do dirty tactics to win? I can't see it. I really can't see it. The lack of power is going to kill us. No doubt about it. But I'm going to try something here. It's an old tactic of mine, and it's an old favourite. You go wide around the arches this way. It might work for this race, but I don't think it's going to work for the tournament somehow. I'd be very, very surprised if we can do this for the entire championship. They are going to absolutely kill me on the straights. This is like one of those ridiculous support races that you see somewhere. That's what's happening. And we've entered with an unmodified, unaltered, untuned version. Except that we're doing something they're not doing. We're taking full advantage of the track limits. We're going to try and see if you can win. This is a silly, ridiculous, daft, unbelievably stupid method. Surely this won't work. Surely we will have to give this up after this race. I just can't see it working. I thought that this was going to be just a load of lupos. I didn't think it was going to actually be a touring car tournament. But that first race, we can cheat. So you can get yourself a decent haul of A-spec points by having a questionable interpretation of the track limits. By embracing the online lobbyist in you and going a different way. You can win this first race with a bone stock version of this car. You could possibly win it by adding ballast and putting on normal tyres and really increasing the value. But for now, unbelievably, thanks to that, as I say, liberal interpretation of how the track works, we've actually scored a victory by 13 seconds. That's as good as it will possibly get in this championship. That is as good as it will get. There is absolutely no way we can do that again. Not a chance. Not a hope. And we will be quitting this championship. Oh, wow. One lap at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Yeah, let's get out of here. I would like to withdraw from this race. You're quite correct. I've got my victory. We need to make some modifications to make that one work. Believe it or not, that counts. We need to win the championship in order to get the car, I think. So, what we will do is, now that we're here, let's throw some money in this ridiculous car. I mean, is it a turbo engine? No, it's an NA-tune. That only gets us to 242. Turbo-wise, we can go to 250. We'll do a turbocharged version. We'll do a turbo rather than a naturally aspirated one. Can't do anything else to the engine. So I'll be honest. We can make the gears better. That'll increase the actual acceleration. There's not much in the way of performance improvements we can give it. But we will try it again. We're in the Lupo Cup. This could be a very funny way to end this unexpectedly longer version of this playthrough. I didn't think I'd be doing one as long as this. But we'll go back to Fuji, because we've got to win the championship. Oh, now we're down to 6 points of A-spec. Now we're down to a lot less. Yeah, look at the power difference now. We powered straight into the lead. This is a ridiculous form of racing. This time, because we've got the power, we're going to take the course legit. We're not gonna cheat this time. We're going to be legit. As we test the limits of grip there, apparently. We've also got super hard tyres on for this car. We've got super hards. We don't need them. We could have gone on bleeding softs probably. But I'm not spending any more money on this car. This is a joke entry. This is a joke championship I wanted to have some fun with. And say it makes me wonder if this car could count for the Hot Hatch League. I'll be honest, I don't think it's got the power. The only advantage it's got is that it will be nice and light. So by being legit and equipped with a car of decent pace, we're still coming in faster than last time. And I just saw the car topped out at like 150 miles an hour. It's not got much in the way of top speed, this car. And no doubt that if we win this championship, we will finish with another Honda. Because all we seem to be getting most of the time is Hondas and Nissans. We had the Audi TT, which was a pleasant surprise. So it's not all been that. We've obviously seen that with the BMW LMR and everything else we've received. But it does make you wonder just how much of these cars are skewed towards one manufacturer in the randomizer. The randomizer is not so random, it would seem. I'm looking forward to getting this uploaded for you all as soon as possible so you can all enjoy it. Now, say I'm hoping very soon to get myself some proper video editing software so I can do some offline playthroughs which are different to these ones. So you won't have the camera, you won't have that. We'll be a lot more editing, with a lot more clips and a lot more jokes and a lot more scripting to the dialogue, and just generally a lot better in terms of that respect. Like I'll be capturing the game footage and then doing my voiceover afterwards, which will probably make things a lot different for you all. Maybe a different experience. But I can't do that just yet because I've not got the recording software I need. So we've won that first race legit, which is awesome. We cheated the first time, let's be fair. We did abuse the track limits. The first one doesn't count. But this one does, so that's a great start. We take 10 points into the next round. I don't know how many rounds there are to this championship. Might be 5. And here we are, it's the Nürburgring Nordschleife. We're going to do this legit from the back of the grid. Yes, Volkswagen IR Racing. But it's just so interesting to see cars like this modified for race cars. But at the same time, you know, it's a perfectly viable car. This time we also didn't up the oil either, so we've actually given ourselves less power to play with. So this race will be much trickier. Even though it's only one lap, it's still going to be a long lap this. We're probably looking around about 9 minutes, possibly even longer than that. Because we don't have much in the way of top speed, and we don't have much in the way of acceleration either. We do have very choppy visuals there. I don't know what was going on with the frame rate there. And we're into the lead. We're in the lead. Oddly enough, I'm actually getting a feeling of torque stir in this car. The first time in a front-wheel drive car I've felt that in this game. Normally you just feel understeer. But this game actually generated torque stir, which is very unusual. Yes, the one lap at the Nordschleife, driving in a VW Lupo. It's a odd experience, shall we say. The fact that I had to upgrade this car for this tournament is hilarious. And I thought it would have been like, you know, the bone stock, everyone up against each other. No, absolutely not. The AI have had to actually really come together for it. Yeah, this feels horrifically slow. And it also feels like this has been a bit of a choppy experience for me, but that might be because of the screen I'm playing it on. My screen, my main screen might make it look far more crazy than it is, because I'm using an ultra wide for this. I've got an ultra wide screen, but I can't capture it in ultra wide because this game doesn't have an aspect ratio for it. It doesn't have 21:9. Quite a few games in the modern era don't, surprisingly, but you saw from the Dead Space streams and from the streams of Legend of Heroes Trials in the Sky and the yet to be continued Dishonored 2 recordings, ultra wide does work. We also did it for the Resident Evil 2 test stream for the different way of uploading. And I'll be honest, I liked that, but I prefer the cabled upload. It's much more stable. Here we go, it's time for the carousel. It's funny hearing those turbo whines in a car like this. Well, thus far this is going very well. Car has got plenty of grip. It's surprisingly okay to drive. It feels quite nice. It's not fast, but it's kind of fun. It's weird. Sometimes an underpowered car can actually be really fun to drive. And this is actually doing very, very nicely indeed. I wouldn't use it for anything but this tournament, don't get me wrong, but it feels like a very happy and forgiving car to drive. You can just like, you can almost do what you want with it. It's like, in that respect, it actually goes very, very nicely indeed. But as you can see by the lap time, this is a horrifically slow car. This car is ridiculously slow. And compared to the opposition, look where the opposition are by comparison. It just shows how slow my other version was. I mean, the fact that I've not needed to change the tyres from super hard shows you just how much grip it has. Because while it's slipping a little bit, it's not unmanageable. It's just, like I say, it's kind of interesting to see. So on we go. Down this very, 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 very long winding road. Marching on. Being brutal. Attacking as much as we can. Topping out at 147 miles an hour, which is not fast. That is not fast at all. This car has topped out. Well, 150, 151, the downhill gradient has come to our aid. It's given us a few more miles an hour. But that's all it's done. Push the limits of where we can go for grip there. We got away with it. Same there too. And we're going to cross the line at 8:13.9. Wow. It was nearly a minute slower than my Mercedes, which is insanely slow for a car that's designed for be racing modified as well, on racing tyres, not sports tyres. It shows that this car is not fast. Not fast at all. Sorry, I felt that coming, but I couldn't get rid of it. Oh, 3 laps of Tsukuba. This could be interesting, actually. This will be about a 3-minute race. Maybe 3 minutes and maybe 4 minutes. These kind of cars are what Tsukuba was meant for in terms of a race. These types of car are exactly what Tsukuba is all about. Underpowered, regular road cars being pushed to their absolute limit. And that was actually a very good overtake by that VW driver. I'll tip my hat to that one. That was an excellent retake. As I've covered the inside line there to make sure I won't be done on the backside again. Oh yes, feel the understeer of a front-wheel drive car through corners like that, people. Yeah, this is actually going to be a tough race to win. I like that. Because part of the problem is the race is quite short. So unless you get an excellent run, it's all about the line. I was trying to coast through that so I didn't have my revs drop too low. It half worked. Not bad, not bad. Okay. Not great, but not the worst. Damn it. I wanted to avoid that. I didn't want to hit him. I wanted to get alongside him, not hit him. But... oh, what the hell? I think I hit the inside corner and it threw my gear off. You know when you hit the inside of a corner, you lose grip. That's exactly what's just happened there. Still, we've got one more lap. See, my problem is hearing the Stop doing that, just plant the power. I'm going to lose this race purely because of the fact that I can't plant the power. Unless... plant the power, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, I'm gonna fucking lose. All because I couldn't plant the power. I'm annoyed at that. I should not have come second. I am really angry at that. That's because the car was going I should have won that. I'm really annoyed at that. Right, tell you what, there's one thing I am doing on this. I'm not having that again. Something was interfering with the power. I don't know what it was, and I'm going to figure it out. Something was interfering. I should not have lost that race. I am furious at that. Yeah, there's no way of tuning that. I'm going to turn off stability control for a second. I'm going to try something. And I'm going to try it by going into qualifying mode. Oh yeah, that's made a world of difference. That was because of my poor driving. That had nothing to do with the car. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to try it as it is. Every time I see a rolling start from now on, I'm qualifying. If there's a rolling start, I'm qualifying. If there's a rolling start, I'm qualifying, I'm getting to the front. I'm not having that situation happen again, what happened at Tsukuba. That should not have happened. Two things got in the way there. One, the rolling start was against me, in terms of the gap between the field. And two, something was, I think it was the stability control was getting in the way. It was stopping me planting the power. Now I'm able to plant the power in the corners and gain some speed. Making a big difference. Yeah, straight on the power, no interference at all. That's made a world of difference. And you can see the gap that's opened up already. We've opened quite a decent gap here so far. And because the stability control is no longer getting in the way, I'm planting the power and I'm not getting that I'm actually getting the power down. But yeah, that's going to be a comfortable victory. Nearly 8 seconds. That's quite impressive. I mean, we got an extra 1,000 credits, so we can't complain on that side, but it's still annoying. And we've still got a lead of 18 points in the championship, so we're well clear. And now we're going for Round Infineon. This is a place that has a rolling start. So I'm not giving the computer a massive lead. I'm refusing to do that. I'm starting in first place this time. So apologies for the delay to this part of the video, people, but it seems I've got to make sure that things don't go against me. I'm going to qualify. Plus, I've never driven this course in a front-wheel drive car. Well, I just don't think I have. I don't recall driving one around here. So I think it's actually going to be a much more challenging course than people think it is. Being on racing super hard tyres is not helpful, to be honest. It would be better on mediums. 2 compounds softer would be much more grip. There, for instance, I wouldn't have to worry about going off the circuit. Because I'm already locked in. I'm too far into the championship now to change it. Not without restarting, and I don't want to do that. So at some point, I think in the next broadcast that's recorded, we will be doing the remainder of the Nissan races, because we know how long they are. And I'd like to have them dedicated to their own individual performance. But this car is doing okay on the circuit, surprisingly. It's not too bad. It's a bit... the understeeriness of it does cause a problem. That must be said. And that's a message from offline, which I will respond to once I'm in position to. Right now is not it. Here we go. Yep, so you're going to be hearing that. In fact, I'm going to have to put that on Do Not Disturb. Bear me a second, people. I can't have that pinging all the time. Amazingly, I've gone more than 3 hours before that's happened, so I'm quite impressed. Remember to me for next time I'm recording, go into Do Not Disturb mode. So you heard how the power was going through the corner continuously then? I was able to fight the way through the corner without having to worry about anything else. It was good. I'm just hoping that this is quick enough to be able to get me pole position. If I can get pole position, I can win the race, and we can keep on going. Getting into first place, you can see how long the lap is. Like, even at the top speed, after we've had our warm-up lap, we're coming in the 150s, which seems quite low, but it's enough to get pole position. So we're taking pole, yeah? I'm starting on pole. I want to be in position to have a chance to have a gap on the field at the start of the race, because my car should drive off before theirs does. There's the gap already. You can see if we go to continue, watch. Get ready. That was a 1.5 second gap. So if you were in 6th place, you'd be nearly 10 seconds back at the start of the race. That's the kind of gap you have to make up, and it's a bit nonsense, really. That's not how racing works. So that's why I'm not a fan of Chase the Rabbit rolling starts. It's all about being realistic. And again, rolling starts do happen. You only have to look at Le Mans for that, for example. But Le Mans, they often go side by side for the top two. In Formula 1, after a safety car, everyone's following in between each other, all keeping so many car lengths back. Here, they don't do any of those. They just seem to do their own thing. That's not the way to gain speed. Going off track is not ideal. But what I liked there was you didn't hear the constant when the car was trying to plant the power, and it was like stopping me from doing it because something was interfering to keep it stable. Here, I had control. And it's made all the difference in terms of performance. The car has just given me much more power and poise. And by removing that barricade, I'm able to get on the power and caress my way through. It might possibly increase tyre wear. What it also does is massively open up the race for me, because I've just gone over the line in first place, and according to the gap at the moment, I'm 10 seconds a lap faster. That shows the difference right there. We're very close to the end of this race, but I don't know if this is the end of the championship or if there's another race afterwards. We're deep into overtime here, people. We're going to be over the 3-hour limit we normally go by. Excellent. Beautifully done. And again, you can see just how much it's eating the corner. It's good. It's giving me decent grip. And it's giving me real performance, which is what you want. And we're close to the final corner for this race, which is awesome. We can put it in the back. We can forget all about it after this. You can see there just so much better grip and turning. Turning off the stability management's made all the difference. It feels so much more alive. Not bad at all. So we needed that victory. We won at Suzuka. That's our 5th race, so that might be the end of the championship. So here we go. Another 5,000 credits. I will happily take that. I will lap that up. Yay! There is the first place in the championship. 25,000 credits. But crucially, what matters most, for the final time on this recording, let's roll a dice and see what we get. Drum roll, please, for a Nissan Starger 260 wagon. That's not the car I expected, but would you believe it? It's another Nissan. Honda and Nissan have dominated my collections. Just before we wrap up, to give you an idea, let's go to manufacturer mode. We're 51.7% complete at least. But Acura, 1. Alfa Romeo, 1. Aston Martin, 1. Audi, 2. BMW, 1. Chevrolet, 1. Chrysler, 1. Citroen, 1. Daihatsu, 4. Dodge, 1. Fiat, 1. Ford, 2. Honda, 91. It says at the bottom there, 16 of 91 cars. Jag, 2. Lancia, 1. Lotus, 2. Mazda, 6. Merc, 1. Mitsubishi, 4. Nismo, 3. Nissan, 13, so that's 16 as well. Opel 2, Peugeot 1, Roof 1, Shelby 1, Spoon 1, Subaru 3, Suzuki 3, Toyota 7, 2 of which are Le Mans prototypes, TVR 1, Volkswagen 2, Cadillac 1, AC 1, Bentley 1, and Proto 1. Just to give you an idea, so of the 91 cars in my garage, 32 are either Hondas or Nissans. And on that note, thank you all very, very much for watching. And game, please start giving me other manufacturers.